This case study is about a girl named Aishah who is an eighth grade student. She is of Yemeni ethnicity and is considered a second generation immigrant here in the United States. Her parents fled civil war in Yemen, and they're primarily from a conservative Muslim culture. Born in New York City, she moved here to Dearborn, Michigan, and grew up here since she was 5 years old. Her mother and father were married at a very early age, and Aisha was born when her mother was around 15 years old. The relationship between her mother and her father didn't work out. They separated and divorced. And when that happened, her mother moved back to New York City, remarried, and had another family, but refused to have contact with Aisha and her sister and her father. Her father also remarried, but Aisha and her sister do not live with her father and her stepmother. Instead, they live with her aunt, who is her father's sister, and she recently turned 19 years old. So she's actually very young. In school, Aisha is very popular. She's well liked by her peers. She is considered the leader of their social group. However, academically, she's very poor. She often doesn't study for tests or turn in homework. During class, she's very disruptive. She would stand up and flick the lights on and off, or answer back the teacher in really disruptive ways throughout the class. When we look at approaches to help Aisha and interventions to help her, there are 4 different key aspects we would like to target. So this is called the SPEC chart, and SPEC stands for strength-based, proactive, empowering, and collective. So the best thing that we can do for Aisha is really in this quadrant right here. The worst thing we can do for her is in this quadrant right here, which are interventions that are reactive, deficient-orientated, detached, and very individualistic. So in those interventions, it would look like focusing on labeling Aisha as a bad student, an outcast from the norm, expelling her or suspending her without explanation of why, or truly following up with her on aspects of her well-being. So targeting her social emotional issues. When people want to put collective and proactive approaches, however, they're not really thinking about strength-based or empowering ways that those approaches will be effective. They often result in programs that are very alienating to the community and not really addressing core needs of the community. So in Aisha's case, that will be workshops solely based on uniform policy or phone policy, but these kind of make her feel alienated and very disengaged. They'll make students feel like, administration or the system doesn't understand them, that they're not really understood in the culture or in the context of the school. Now, we can look at reactive and individual, however, strength-based and empowering ways, which could be helpful for Aisha, but they're still reactive in the sense that they are done because of a problem or because of an aspect that she has. So solution-focused therapy for Aisha, individual counseling sessions for Aisha, and referring her through a therapist that can help her in specific situations. So these are still helpful for her. However, they're very individualistic and they're very reactive. So she's put in these places because of maybe a negative behavior in her past. Now, in quadrant 1, this is the most proactive, collective, strength-based, and empowering way that we can help Aisha through her issue. So in this case study, Aisha enjoys art. So helping her develop her voice and identity through that interest, through clubs and organizations and maybe classes that she would enjoy, and as well as parental workshops on study skills to supplement her academic issues. So helping her get the support that she needs from home to be academically successful in school. As a school environment, the school can emphasize healing-centered practices, trauma-informed practices, and restorative justice programs in the school environment. And these would help policy changes in school that would effectively address students like Aisha and help her development in a social aspect as well.